Yes, we are live again on Thursday, noon, Eastern time. What do you call it now? EDT.
Eastern Day.
In Dutch, it's actually called summertime. I kind of like that way. Yeah, this is Toni Weel. I have with me Sara from Virtuous Unicorns. I could not do this without her. So
Sure
always
you
thank
could.
you, Sara, for always being here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, what are we going to talk about today? I actually still have no clue, but it will come to us. Sara just mentioned something, so I think we just go ahead with using that. And yeah, looking at first, I have to look outside. My window is open. The breeze is coming in. I have a kitty in front of the window. You will hear her screaming once in a while. That's just what she does. And blue sky and real clouds. We have real nice clouds.
That's
And
wonderful.
of course, it's sunny.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what temperature it is, but it's good. So
Oh, we have lots of sun today too, and I think it's even close to 60 degrees already, and so it's wonderful. And I want to start by saying Happy New Year.
oh yeah, that's another thing. Happy New Year. And that is what my plan was. Have Garden of Eden.social open on New Year, spring, a new beginning. It is a new beginning for me, definitely, and probably for many of us. And yes, beautiful. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about Garden of Eden later. I think, and just Katie said she has a lot of questions today, but Sara, you go ahead first.
Yep. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Happy New Year. We believe that our new year is March 21st. So 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. So here we are into the new year, and it's officially spring. And we have moved our time. We have sprung forward in our time. So we are loving the sun for sure. Longer days. But what I wanted to start out with, what I was just talking with Toni about, is Dr. Morse has put out a 2-week challenge to people called the monkey diet, which it's the frugivore diet. In that, he also did talk about that basically just keeping it raw, but that we are frugivores, and to if you need a salad, eat a salad. And I had put a comment in there about salads are great, but the cleaner you can keep it, the better, meaning no oil. And there were some people that did respond back about using tahini. And keep in mind that tahini is full of fat and protein because it is just made with sesame oil. And I'm sorry, it's made with sesame seeds, hulled sesame seeds, and then oil, which I'm not sure which oil you use, maybe peanut oil, and salt. So I would definitely try to steer away from the tahini, especially if you're trying to detox.
Yeah, I mean, tahini, my absolute favorite. I can pretty much spoon it out of the jar, especially when I make it myself. Now, I never made tahini with any oil.
No.
If you have raw sesame seeds and you put them in the blender and while it's blending, not in a blender, in a food processor. So while it is going, it kind of warms up, and that let it run for a while. And it could be 10, 15 minutes even, and you have to scrape the sides. But then you see the oil already coming up, so you never ever add extra oils. It's not necessary. As for salt, we had many times that we talked about salt. We know we don't need it. In case that you do want, and you're not 100% on the fruit, and you want something else, and you do want that tahini and that sesame seed with the high oils in it, the high fat, the high proteins, but then no salt, then use the green salt, pure green salt. It's made from seaweed. It tastes the same. It has a different effect, but the taste is the same. So can you really make, tahini? It's just sesame seed. There's nothing else that you can, do with it. If you want to make hummus, it's not a hummus if you don't use the tahini.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I had we always love to go out for a birthday, to go out to eat. Well, the closest raw food restaurant is almost 2 hours away, an hour and 45 minutes if we're lucky with traffic. but heck, we do it only once a year. So we went actually yesterday because now my husband was home and we had the time. And we found ourselves pretty much now with a huge plate full of just raw veggies, which was not really that appealing. But it had oils in it, and it had avocado, and I ate some, and I felt the heaviness in my stomach. And because I've been on fruit now for, what is it now? 3 weeks, I think. Close to 3 weeks, only fruit. It doesn't feel good anymore. And I used to feel good when I ate, the raw veggies, but absolutely oils is a big no-no. She had made an macadamia paste that was on a crust in there too. Macadamia is absolutely the highest fat in a nut that you can even find. If you talk about, you can eat a few nuts a day, then with macadamia, I would limit it to 1 nut a day. Those things are huge, and they are so full of fats. So, but and it was $100 for 2 people. $100. It used to be, we ate there, for years. We've been going to her. She's a Russian lady, actually, in Sarasota. And the food is good. Had I told her the older I get, the more time I need to chew everything down. It's going to take me forever. She agreed. She's getting close to my age, I think. Her restaurant in Sarasota is called Beauty of Sprouts. So yeah, it's worth going there. They have delicious teas and the most amazing desserts. One was a lavender, but it's again based on nuts and coconut oil, because that hardens the desserts that you make. Absolutely delicious. And I think once in a year I'm okay, but it did not make me feel good. And that is not, food should make you feel light, I think light is a good word. What other word would you have for it, Sara?
Yeah, it should make you feel light. You shouldn't feel bloated. You shouldn't feel any of that kind of stuff at all. We were in Michigan over the weekend, and if you go to the Detroit area, we love Lebanese food, and so I had hummus, and it felt okay. Maybe the first couple of bites, and keep them.
What other words would you have for it, Sara?
Yeah, it should make you feel.
Katie, can you? Okay.
Mute. I was like, wait, is that me? I started looking. Yeah, but I had hummus, and I wasn't eating it by the spoonful by any means, but yeah, it kind of hit my stomach like a rock. And the only thing I can think of is that I haven't had the chickpea beans in a very long time, and I haven't had the oil, and I did not taste any garlic in it. I know that sometimes people will put some garlic in it, but this was just plain. And I'm not sure if it was raw or not. I can't tell. But when we went out to dinner, that is what I ended up having. And I mean, it was good. I do remember it. But yeah, I did not like how it felt in my stomach once it was past my taste buds.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And we do need to listen to that, because sometimes it's so I think it was it Lucas who was on the show a few months ago, who mentioned that in on this Facebook, that you please your taste buds, but not your stomach or your GI tract. It's only pleasing the taste buds. Oh my God, this tastes good. And when something is that fat, it's like the dessert that I had was really tiny amounts. And you take a little bit, and then you let it kind of melt in your mouth. Absolutely delicious. It is the fat. And we can do without. I mean, I don't have any cravings for salt or any fats when I just stick to the all fruit, with occasionally a salad. And going to the question that Katie had, it's about celery juice. Don't use it for a long time. Is it the same for Dr. Morse's protocol? Well, no, not really. It's if you mean the protocols, the herbal formulas, We use them like 3 to 4 months. And on an average, people use 6 to 9 different formulas. I've even used as many as 15. But then you stop. It's not, that you keep doing that. Like I was stupid enough to do the celery juice for 18 months. And even felt that if I didn't do it, then everything would be wrong in my body. But it was the opposite. I was on constant diarrhea and cramps and just not feeling well, and almost to a point that I was so disgusted by that stuff that I was like, no, and it's not helping me. I didn't get any better at the end of those 18 months. I was at my absolute worst. So yeah, there will people say, oh, it's so great, it helps. And yeah, the first 2 weeks it does, but then stop it. It's the same as when I say that, I learned that parsley juice, you take that in the morning, maybe 6 to 8 ounces, but, also heard from somebody who did way more than that and kind of messed up his GI tract. You don't want to do that. I mean, it is very strong. It is, you only do it for a few days to a week, maybe 10 days, and then you stop and you see how things go. Are your kidneys filtering? And it with the celery juice, yeah, it helps you to go. If you have constipation, it could definitely help. But why does it help? Because your body wants to get rid of it ASAP. That is how I see it. But the herbs, they are not those big amounts. You definitely take less, and you still have to see how you're doing. Not everybody can go on it for months at a time. I had somebody say, yeah, I've been doing this now for 18 months. And I'm like, well, then something is not right, because you shouldn't need it for 18 months. But if you do it for that amount of time and you haven't changed your diet, yeah, then I get it why you don't get any better. It's always diet first. Absolutely, 100% diet comes first. And to get to the diet, Katie asked, speaking of salads, how there are some fruits you shouldn't mix with other fruits, or the vegetables that we shouldn't mix with other vegetables and with fruit. The only fruit that you mix with vegetables is actually lemon and limited apple. And you can mix the veggies with each other. I'm not a big veggie eater unless I throw something in a blender and make a cold soup, and I'm still limited to maybe 2 or 3. And we don't need that. We have been taught we need variety. We don't. That's not absolutely not necessary. We don't need that variety. Mm-hmm. And are there vegetables that you cannot mix with each other? Not that I'm aware of. It's but it depends, what do you want to mix? I would always go to that list that the mucusless foods, it's on mucuslessfoods.com, where you have the list about what you should eat or want to eat when you are on a detox, and what you can eat on a transition diet, or when you go out or eat with friends, and then not have to feel bad about it, or you still have to go with what does your body allow. There are raw foods that I know. I already knew it about the nuts, so that was nothing new that it felt that heavy. Go with that list. Have that list or learn it and limit the type of foods that you eat.
Yep. And my stomach can handle it, even though it's probably not good for me, but I do mash up strawberries in my salad. And I don't feel any different from it, but I love the sweet taste. I still, in my mind, I think it's better than any of the salad dressings that I can do. But then again, I'm not a big salad eater.
Yeah,
I
and for salad dressings, because I was telling before we started, I was telling Sarah about the mess this morning. My husband went has to work today or started work again today, and he is gone for 5 days. And we make all his foods to take with him that morning or this morning, and my blender broke. So, but we make salads, we make salad dressing, and I found now that that salad dressing, I added marmalade. I added a jam to it. Actually, it's not ideal, but yeah, but you know what happens, and I think many people are not aware of that because they feel it's kind of normal. You get gas, it starts fermenting. So that is the reason that you don't want to do it. But if you have the really light salads like iceberg and maybe romaine, I think it wouldn't be that bad to combine it with fruit, because they're both light, they both digest fast, and that is the only reason that you don't combine veggies and fruit, because the fruit digests much faster than the veggies do. But when you have those light fruits, and that is probably why it doesn't give you a problem.
Right. And I love butter lettuce. So butter lettuce.
Yeah. Well, I think that is one that is really light too. Those are the only ones that I use now: romaine, iceberg, and butter lettuce. Those three.
Well, a lot of people, when they make their salad, I remember back with my salads, they would be a huge salad. I never did kale, never liked kale. But it would be a very large salad. I would even have chopped up potato in there. Of course, I'd have sunflower seeds and hemp seeds, and then I'd have like my balsamic vinaigrette, and I'd have carrots and tomatoes. And I mean, my goodness, thinking back, you're thinking, how did you eat all that in the first place? Like, where did it go? And then not to mention, like, can you just imagine what the inside of your stomach looks like? All right, put this over there, do this. Oh, great. We didn't, it's probably like a big jumbled mess in there. And then on top of that, washing it down with like cheese. I mean, probably back then soda, things like that. But it's just crazy how simple it is now too. And it's just like, oh, you want some of that? Just eat some of that, but all these nuts, and think about how many nuts it takes or the sesame seeds to make the tahini. I mean, we've talked about making almond milk. How much almonds are in that? How much of the hemp seeds do you have to eat? And what's that really doing to your kidneys? And just things like that.
Yeah, that's what you have also with almond milk. I used to make almond milk, and you use, I think I used 1.5 cups, 2 cups for 1 liter of almond milk. But a liter of almond milk, you chuck it down really easily.
Yeah.
There goes a whole a whole cup of almonds.
Absolutely. And I know Katie did join. Katie, did you want to talk? I see you're putting your comments in there, but please feel free to join.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So this week I have not been sleeping. Even Toni was like, Katie, what are you doing still up in the middle of the night? I just, I haven't been sleeping. So I've been coming up with a lot of questions. Anyways, thanks for answering my first two. And, that almond milk, we talked about that one other time on the show, because my son, he thinks that he needs to drink some sort of milk for protein. And when you guys said, how many almonds does it make to make that milk? Oh my gosh, that was just so profound to me. But it was not profound to him. He is still drinking that almond milk. And, it's his journey, and I'll just, keep teaching him along the way, but then it's up to him, because now he's 18. So anyways, this week I was asking about the vegetables, because this week my husband and my son are willing to eat more salads. And so, they've been asking some questions, which then is why I'm asking questions, because I'm thinking about the conversations that we've had this week. And so thank you so much for sharing about the vegetables and even like how long to do. And yes, I was talking about Dr. Morse's tinctures. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I would say it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So anyways, then I have a friend this week who was asking about what kind of products do I use. And so I was telling her a little bit about like, my shampoo and I don't use any body soap. I just use water. And so then I started wondering like, what are the chemicals in our shampoos that, when we're looking at a shampoo to decide whether it's good or bad? Do you guys know of some products or the ingredients in the shampoo that we should be like, oh, nope, that has to go back on the shelf. That's not good enough for me?
Well, the very first one that comes up is sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and that's a foaming agent. And that's one of the very first things that they'll say, oh, but the one we use is not the bad. But it's still, in our book, it's still not the best. The best is not to use the shampoo. But I
Right.
know a lot of people, they won't do that. It's been a long time since I've been on the shampoo. Toni, can you speak to that?
Yeah, the rule, most simple rule is actually, if you don't want to eat it, then don't put it on your body.
Okay.
But when you look at, I have a shampoo that I use that is actually from Pura D'Or. It's a professional grade biotin shampoo. And it's the ingredients. Let me see what the ingredients are. And no, I wouldn't eat it. And yes, if it comes into my eyes, it doesn't feel good.
And yeah, and then also while you're looking that up, the real expensive shampoos, like where you're like it's the organic, it's this, it's that, they're just as much crap as like the Pantene or the Herbal Essence, that kind of stuff. So don't think just because it's more expensive, it's got to be better for you. I've been the whole route of using drugstore stuff to Aveda stuff to salon stuff, and in my whole journey, and I look back and it was just kind of a waste of money to even make in your own.
Yeah, I am on the farmers market. I am talking with people who make their own stuff, and I'm trying out their soap and their shampoo, which is actually like a bar of soap too. I just bought it, so I'd still have to try it. I still have to use it. But when I look at the one that I am using, and which I would definitely not put in my mouth because it has like xylitol in it, it has citric acid. A lot of the stuff is certified organic, has a lot of like saw palmetto. It has, aloe vera leaf juice. It has lemongrass, seaweed, nettle. It has a lot of the good things in it: cedarwood, rosemary, clary sage, hishu wu, and root extract, citrus lemon peel oil, hibiscus. But it is like, my gosh, do we need all of this? I went for probably a year, it's probably about 10 years ago. And don't ask me why I stopped washing my hair again. Before the year, I did not wash my hair. Did it start the first few weeks? It looked like it was, I just rinsed it, twice a week. And at first it started a little greasy, but then it became shiny, and then my hair started to curl again, and it was actually so much better. Now, I totally forgot why I started using shampoos again. I don't know. It's still maybe in the back of your mind about, oh, it's cleaner. And I don't know. This was even before I started to follow Medical Medium, and definitely before Dr. Morse. So, but I already knew then it would be, better to not put any chemicals on your body, because I had pretty much all over my body at that time. I had psoriasis, and not realizing how much how important food is, to get rid of it. So when I'm on the market, it's I often see that, oh, for eczema and for psoriasis, and it's like, oh, I talk to them. It's also for the inside, you know. You need, if you don't clean that, you can put anything on your skin. It's not going away. Yes, it does make it softer, but so you can peel off, you know, a layer of skin easily, and it's not so dried out, but it's not going away. It doesn't matter what you put on it, it will not go away. So it's the best thing would be to not put anything at all on it. There is, but I do use, when I from a tub, when I had a bath, I do use oh my God, what is her name? Rosemary Glad Star lotion. And that actually you could eat if you wanted to. And she has and it's actually free. You can find that on the internet. If you type in Rosemary Glad Star recipes, then she has for lotions, for shampoos, for soaps, for so many things. And I used to make stuff that I put on my skin myself. But you know, time wise, I buy it now, and I don't have it right here. So, but you can look it up, Rosemary Glad Star. It's absolutely worth looking into that if you look for really safe stuff. And actually, Dr. Morse was selling it.
The last thing I remember using, which I was going to go look, but it's too far away for me to run to go see, but everything has been washed off and it's so small still, was I had one of those shampoo bars. And yeah, I cannot remember where I got it from, but that was the last time that I actually used it. But think about it too, like when you first stopped using deodorant and you started cleaning your body up, like at first it kind of smelled and you were like, oof, I don't know if I can go anywhere. And maybe you're showering more times during the day, just try to, you know, do that. But think about now on the journey, like, do you smell? Like Katie was even saying here, like, you know, there's not so much gas anymore. And then when you do pass gas, does it actually smell? No. And I know it's funny because everybody thinks like their stuff doesn't stink, but it literally doesn't. And I mean, there might be, depending on where you are in your detox journey, once you get to that part, like it doesn't smell. And so you don't need all that. It's the same exact process with your hair too. Once you get it cleaned up and you stop using all that stuff, you do only need to rinse your hair out. And I've said a million times on here, probably, I work in a field, I work in a barn, I work outside, you know, I do all this stuff too, where I will sweat. I also don't sweat like I used to. I do remember that. And like maybe like where the sweat would kind of like burn under your armpits, stuff like that. I don't have any of those issues anymore. And here we are in the beginning of spring, like I said, so I've made it a whole entire winter without having the winter eczema that I used to get on my hands. It was bad. And I didn't get any of it all this year. And, you know, so just rinsing your hair, yeah, it feels very weird at first. It's going to feel gross at first. But once you get over that hump, the same as you did with when you quit wearing deodorant, and think about like when you quit brushing your teeth, all those things at first, it feels very weird. But our hair here, I think it is really different, like where you just don't want to look like you have oily hair and stuff. But you do just continue along with it, and it's amazing. The other thing I wanted to try, which I read a long time ago and I actually forgot about it, was somebody had put like flowers and made like rose water or some kind of flower water like that, and then soaking your hair in that. I forget really everything about it, but I'm not sure if anyone on here knows anything about that with actually me going back and reading again.
You can also use Dr. Morse's Heal All Tea.
Oh, very nice. Yep. Like if you just wanted a nice little scent in your hair, but I don't know. I think my hair always kind of smells like sunshine. I don't know how to explain it, but it does. Like it always smells like a sunshine scent. And I hugged somebody over the weekend and they say, your hair smells so good. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to tell you, I haven't washed it.
Nice. Well, thank you, Brooke. That was Brooke. I think that, yeah, Brooke mentioned Lusa Organics. In the meantime, when you were talking, I looked it up. It looks very, very promising. So I put the link in there. And oh my gosh, I absolutely going to order stuff there. I have so many soaps. I'm always, people that make the stuff themselves. I always, always look into this, and it's fun making it. But it's like if you want to do that for more people, it's like a full-time job. But we definitely need a list of these things on Garden of Eden. I think it is super important that we get away from all the toxins. There's enough around us. I've already done that with cleaning. And I have cats, so there is cleaning. And I've been using lemon and vinegar to do that, in finding other products too that can clean just as well, but have no junk in it. Because a lot of the stuff, even they say it's natural, there's nothing chemical in it, and I use it and I start sneezing and coughing. Well, that's already a sign it's no good.
Yep.
So
what do you think about peroxide?
I don't know. I bought it not too long ago and I haven't used it yet. I don't know. I don't know, because I haven't looked into it, what exactly it is. Because you can find, a few hundred links and they tell you what a wonderful product it is. And nobody says anything negative. And I'm looking for that one that looks at it a different way and doesn't just repeat, what everybody else is saying. And that is not that easy. But research needs to be done.
Yep. I know it's been around for a very long time and it doesn't really get any hype either direction, really. It's just some product that's just been there our whole lives, basically.
Yeah,
we use it for blood cleanup, and I've tried it on my teeth a long time ago, but I can't get past the taste. And as we know, I'm a wuss when it comes to all that stuff, so I don't really do it anyway. So
Okay, are you guys ready for my next question?
absolutely.
Okay. Well, Sara, you had mentioned that this winter your what'd you call it? Winter eczema that hasn't. Okay. So I am wondering, that hasn't come ever since I transitioned to this fruitarian lifestyle. I have found that I am cold a whole lot more than I've ever been. And why is that happening? Because I've heard it happen to other people who have transitioned to this diet. So can you guys answer that one for me?
I don't get cold, and I know you live in a northern climate too. It could just be a transition period. I think I feel like I don't know, like I forget all these things. It's almost like when you have a child, you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But then in the middle of childbirth, you're like, what? But yeah, it's I mean, I don't know, like, what does your, like, are you pretty active? Do you do like a lot of, I don't know, I always, put mine to like my strength, and I'm always moving and working. And I work harder than the average person every day, like physically. So I'm not sure if that really has anything to do with that. My husband, though, he feels like he's a little bit more cold. But I'm assuming it has something to do with his thyroid. And that was be my next question is, do you have any kind of thyroid issues that you're aware of?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm cold. Well, because I used to love being in, where it snows and you have your 4 seasons. And now and I know this winter is not like any other winter. But I'm cold all the time. And even last winter, I noticed that I was cold. And then my husband, of course, when I say, oh my gosh, I'm so cold. And then, I'll grab a space heater and it's directly facing me, or I'm covered up. Like last night, I think I had 4 blankets on me and I didn't sleep well because I was so cold all night. And then he's like, well, Katie, that's because you have no fat on you anymore. You've lost so much weight. I'm like, that is not the case.
No,
there's something else
that
going
does not
on
keep
here.
us warm. Anyway.
Well, what the problem is that fruit brings out the weaknesses in your body. And you already mentioned you have a thyroid issue, and I wasn't aware of how easily that could be fixed. I had a thyroid issue since my teens, and they put me on medication for a year, and after that I've never used it again. So I was just like, okay, I have a thyroid issue. But when I am on all fruit, I could even have it when it's 70 degrees or even 74 degrees in the house, and I was freezing cold, not a heater or a blanket would even warm me up. And then it dawned on me, and it's like, oh, hold on a second, because I didn't have any of the dulse. I often add the dulse to my smoothies, and I hadn't done it for a few weeks. So I did. I just put 2 tablespoons of dulse in a glass of hot water, and I drank it. Actually, tastes pretty good, a little salty. And the next day, that cold feeling was over. So that helped the thyroid a little. And so I would definitely suggest that, because I'm pretty sure that will help you.
Oh my gosh, that actually just sounds absolutely lovely right now. I'm not too cold right now, but it might come. Anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
One more thing I will put on there, Katie, is are you somebody that sits in the wintertime with just like shorts on and a blanket, or do you kind of, because I always have leggings on and some pair of like longer socks. But today I'm in t-shirt and shorts, and it's like 50 some degrees today. So I'm not outside, but I'm in my home, but I think my home's only set at like 65 right now. So, but usually I'm always in leggings and a pair of long shorts, and then I do layer up too, and then I just peel my layers off as the day goes.
Okay, if I was at your house, I'd probably be freezing, because right now, and see, but that's the way I used to be. I'd always be like, yeah, 65 to 70 is like the ideal temperature. And now I'm like, yeah, anything above 70 is good to me.
It's going to be in the 90s this week here in Florida.
Oh, Toni, I should really talk to my family and see if we can reschedule my trip to come see you, because I could really use some 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
let us know how that goes, and we'll be interested to track that with you.
Yeah. Well, so yesterday I was wearing like long underwear, leggings, and a button down top. But in the winter, yeah, no, I'm usually pretty well layered. My friends always call me like the vest lady, because I always had vests, because I'm like, or the cardigan lady, because you layer up. Oh, I'm hot. Oh, nope, now I'm not hot. So, and then, yeah, I'm always wearing, pants, a shirt, and then possibly a sweater or a vest, and then, my socks. And sometimes I'll put my shoes on, because I feel like my toes are warmer in my shoes. And I always have toe warmers and hand warmers nearby.
Oh no.
Well, there's another thing you may want to consider, and that is circulation.
Yeah.
So what do I do about rebounding?
That? Well, there is a blood circulation formula from Dr. Morse. I would definitely use that one. And I don't know about your thyroid or parathyroid issues. I would definitely not use Dr. Morse's thyroid formula, because that is more for hypothyroid, not for hyper. So
I had some lady ask me. You have hypo? Okay. I had some lady ask me the other day, can she catch hyperthyroidism? And I was like, no, you can't. But because she was talking about for weight loss. So it was funny.
Oh, that is really funny.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, you can't.
Well, I've heard of people who were actually on the low weight side, and they said they were diagnosed with hypothyroid, and I was like, that puzzles me.
That does.
That is usually not the case.
I'd want to see some more information about that.
Yeah, but on the internet, there's so much information, disinformation.
Yeah. And you can find the answer whichever way you're looking for the answer, you
Yeah.
can definitely find that answer.
Yeah, it is so confusing at times.
Katie, I would definitely talk with Toni about that, see if you can pinpoint that down, because that does sound more of that the fruit is expressing through your detox symptoms of what's really your weaknesses are. So I would be kind of focusing on your thyroid and see if that helps you.
Yes, I'm going to talk to Toni. Well, because I'm doing the remedies and I have enough to do it for a month. And I think I'm on my third week, or maybe I think I'm on my third week of them. So anyways, yes, but good stuff, you guys. I just love being here with you.
We love having you. And maybe some light rebounding, or just kind of like, I think Justin covered a video on that where you're kind of just going up on your toes and then coming down, and definitely walking. Walking is great for circulation and, of course, moving your lymph.
Yes, except that it's so cold here, Sarah. Although I could go and walk at the mall.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that for a second, because after I quit teaching, then I worked retail at the mall.
I remember.
And I just was like, yeah, no, this is just not sitting right with me, because I was required to ask, would you like our credit card? And then I think about all the toxins that are in the mall. I mean, do I just go and walk at the mall, because I'm not going to walk in negative temperatures? I guess I could purchase a treadmill, but do you think if let's say I wanted to go walk, and I decided, okay, I'm going to try the mall. Should I just walk and not worry about all the chemicals that are in the mall and just do it?
You will detox that out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, as soon as you said that, if you feel drawn to go there, there's a reason. So you might, that place might need some joy, and I'm sure you bring a lot of it with you. So you just really listen to yourself, and there might be somebody there that you might need to connect with for some reason. So, and I mean, I don't know how soon your springs start coming, so maybe it's only for a couple weeks in the first place.
I know. Well, yesterday I texted Mr. Wonderful, our good friend Juan, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like 40 degrees and I see grass.
Yeah.
Guess what happened when I was supposed to be sleeping last night?
Uh-oh, what's that?
It snowed.
Oh no. Yeah,
I can't see grass today.
Oh, well, hopefully it's only for a little bit of time, but if that's coming up to you and you feel drawn to doing that, then I would say go for it, because there might be a higher purpose of why you're supposed to be there in the first place. Right. And again, like we always say, we can only do the best with what we have available to us.
Exactly. Okay, so I have another question. Toni has talked about this, and Sarah, you have too. So I am wondering, where do you two learn about what clothing materials we should and should not mix? Because that is something that I am a blank slate at, and I'm really just trying to wear 100% cotton or 1% this. How about that?
Well, for me, it is like I stopped worrying about it. I've always been into natural fabrics, especially in my time as a fashion designer and having a boutique with 250, 300 pieces of clothing. It was always cotton, linen, and silk. Now I know what the whole cotton industry is and how much chemicals are being used. Linen is the same, you can barely even get it, and the silk is completely out. Of course, being vegan, that is not what you use, so no more silk. So what is left now, it is, I always, from my husband, I try to find the organic t-shirts or bamboo. And there is a lot of clothing, and anything can be made out of hemp. So, but there is not really a variety. You get kind of stuck with the most simple pieces of clothing unless you can find a fabric and make it yourself. way back when I was in my early 20s, I spun a lot of wool, and I got that from the farmers around us. So there was nothing on it, it was just dirty wool, and we used only plants to dye it, and but that is not being done anymore either. So it's like, try to get organic stuff so there is the least amount of chemicals used. That's all that, the choices that you have. But you look for, actually, I have, weird. I have underwear that's made from bamboo. I think that was pretty neat. And it lasts longer than the cotton stuff. So bamboo, hemp, and what was the other one that I mentioned? Oh yeah, the organic cotton.
Mm-hmm. I do a lot of the cotton as well too, and but bamboo is very nice. I definitely have bamboo t-shirts, things like that, but I still have blue jeans. None of my blue jeans are new by any means, but they seem to last the longest when I'm over on the farm working on stuff like that, because leggings and things like that will tear. But I don't wear like blue jean shorts. I do have like cotton shorts, things like that. Linen is the best, but it is, like Toni said, it's expensive and it's hard to find. Like I have linen pants also, and I really want to get some linen sheets, but some of the ones I've been looking for they're like $300-$500 for sheets. So we just go with cotton. But another thing to keep in mind, I see people all the time, they'll buy like organic cotton and then they'll go home and they'll wash it in regular laundry soap. And I'm thinking to myself, you just ruined the organic part of it, because cotton is something that will absorb stuff like that. And it's also one of the most heavily, what is it called? They put a lot of pesticide on that because they get so many of the bugs on it. I think it's number 2 compared to coffee, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. So organic cotton would definitely be the way to go, but you got to start thinking about too, like, how are you going to now wash this? Because as soon as you wash it, then what's going to happen to it? Is it still organic or not? And the answer is going to be no. Also, per the Bible, you definitely don't want to mix linen and wool together. It cancels each other out, but linen has the highest frequency vibration of 5,000, and that is the best for us. I don't know if you were saying something before, Toni, but I was going to go on to wool, where there's a big controversy out there about with the wool. How is it really collected from the sheep? At the same time, if they're not shearing the sheep, the wool just continues to grow, and then the sheep will fall over and die in the first place. So what do we do with this wool until they breed that gene out of the sheep eventually, which I have no idea how many years that would take in the first place. So to each their own on that, really, because if you don't use it, it just hurts the sheep in the first place.
Yeah, that's kind of controversial. It's like
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, but it is there. Yeah, it is there now. And you would say if you keep using it, they keep breeding the sheep like that.
Exactly.
And once you stop using it, then it's not easy. I mean, I absolutely love wool. I always did. I had wool blankets, not needed here. Wool coat. I worked a lot with wool for coats, and but it usually came from local farmers. But still, even I bought wool and I didn't even look, and you don't look into organic because I've never seen organic wool, but it would only mean that it's not, a lot of pesticide or dyed with a lot of toxic coloring. It is, if you want to go all the way, you can, but I find my happy medium in that and not worry too much about it. And maybe I should take it all the way, but it's like I do what I can. And I can see where you want to live completely with everything that you can provide for yourself, and maybe have one sheep, and maybe, you knit if you're in a colder area and you knit a sweater. And because I think you need at least a whole sheep's from the wool from one sheep to knit a sweater. I mean, I made hundreds. I knitted hundreds of sweaters way in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, again, you got to do with what the best is you have the option for. A lot of organic cottons and stuff are very expensive. Linen's expensive. So you just do with the best that you can possibly do. Buy secondhand, if anything, too. That's always a great option, and it's cheaper and but then again, like, who knows what they washed it with. So
yeah, and that is going back to that washing. It is like you can wash with just water and vinegar, or water and baking soda, or just water even. I mean, water is the best cleaner there is. And why did we come to all these things that needed to be added to it? I mean, look at all the people. We go way back, and still people, you know, wash their clothes in the rivers and it gets clean. We don't need to use soap. That is all part of that whole industry that we think that we needed to smell good. And then oh my gosh, these awful things that they put in those dryer sheets, they put in the dryer. I just saw a tip from somebody, and it's on the Facebook a lot. It keeps coming up. Put a dry towel with your wet clothes or towels in the dryer. So you have your wet stuff, and now you add a dry towel to it, and see what happens. It's a surprise. It's good.
I saw that too. I think it just helps to suck out the moisture quicker, so the dryer doesn't run as long.
Yeah, but
really
it's softer. And sometimes, you know, when you walk around here in the community and it's like, oh my gosh, the smell here, the smell there from these dryer sheets. Never use them. Never.
And scent beads, like I watched some of these videos, they put in their laundry detergent, then they put in like a disinfectant type thing, then they put in scent beads, I was like, oh my gosh, like, one, what's it doing to your washer? Like, how's your washer ever going to run well? Yeah. And then two, my gosh. And I will tell you too, when I walk past people, I can smell their laundry detergent. I'm like, yeah, my gosh, can you guys not smell that? Like, does that hurt your nose too?
Yeah. And we forgot about what you can use in your washer is those soap nuts. I have that too.
Yes.
I don't really know what it is, what kind of things they are. I haven't looked into that, but I do have them.
I've yet to try them, so
yeah, and you put them in a little bag and you can reuse them. So it is, and it's also so much cheaper.
It is, because then you just reuse it over and over again. I forget how many loads they're good for, but I definitely do want to try them.
Yeah. I put up the link for if you want to buy the Dr. Morse formulas. I have a special link for that. It is drmorseherbalformulas.com, and the discount code is in capitals HERB10. And that gives you automatically a 10% discount. So if you want to order it.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie, did you have any other questions for us? Or anyone else in the chat?
Well, let's see here. Well, I'm thinking about my laundry detergent. Right now I use Free and Clear, and I use the liquid formula. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called All Free and Clear. And I've used that, gosh, well, ever since I saw that homeopathy doctor back in 2019. I mean, 1999, 2000. And I just saw a commercial that says, you shouldn't really be using liquid. You should be using powder substances. And I'm guessing it's because your liquid comes in that big plastic bottle, whereas your powder comes in a box that can be, recycled. I don't know, whatever. So I was actually going to ask you, do you prefer liquid over powder or powder over liquid? But then it sounds like you prefer no soap. I
know, we're always such downers, huh?
Oh no.
No.
Hey, guess what? I don't have a job right now because I find it very hard to be working in the matrix right now. You just saved me a little bit of money, because now I don't need to buy dish soap. I don't need to buy shampoo. I don't need to be buying. And that's fine. And to me, honestly, it just makes so much sense. That's just like why when God said, Katie, you don't eat meat, I put you in the garden. It was, you guys, I changed within that instant. As soon as he said it, I was done with meat, dairy, and eggs. Done. So the diet, it's simple, just simple. Now what you're saying is, taking care of myself with the cleaning myself. You're telling me, Katie, it's simple. Just jump in the shower, rinse yourself off with water. Okay, got it. And now you're telling me with the clothes and the dishes. Okay, just clean with water. Perfect. Done. It's just simple, simple, simple. It just makes so much sense to me. But, I'm transitioning. There's just like in everything. Okay, now I'm going to transition in how I clean myself. Now I'm going to transition in how I clean the products or clean the things that are around me.
Absolutely.
So anyways,
keep in mind though, real quick before
Yeah.
with the cleaning products, we don't use chicken. So like we're not cleaning up chicken meat. We're not cleaning up blood like that. When I did mention blood earlier, that could be like blood from one of us got cut or something like that. I'll use peroxide on our clothes. But like I'm not cleaning up chicken juice, turkey juice, beef. I'm not cleaning up stuff like that. I'm cleaning up, our knife from cutting up an orange, or the blender from making a smoothie, which is fruits. The worst thing that I do clean up would be if my cat went to the bathroom on the carpet or outside of the box or something, which they have a totally different area than what we live in the first place. And even still with that, we use vinegar. So, we're not a standard American diet family. So I'm not cleaning up all that stuff. If I was having chicken juice and things like that, I probably wouldn't just use hot water in the first place. But just to clarify, we're not cleaning up anything like that.
Right. And that's the same at our house. Well, at my house too, like, so every morning for my son, I'm cutting oranges, making him orange juice. And I'll just, okay, I'm just going to rinse that plate because, it was just oranges and oranges are good.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm not going to scrub that down real hard. But now for anybody who visits me, they'll be like, I don't want to eat off your dishes.
Wait, these are secrets we usually don't tell everyone because it does freak out most people.
Hey, I'm an open book. And just like Brooke R is just she's just inspiring me. I'm so glad she's here with us.
She's amazing.
I'm just opening up the book for whoever comes on the show one day or comes across our show and is like, I wonder what you do. Oh, that crazy Katie in South Dakota. I want to be like her or
that
not.
Is awesome. Yep, that is the way you should be for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't go around telling people like, well, yeah, I haven't washed my hair in months. I don't lead with that kind of stuff. But I do find that they are interested, then I'll go ahead and tell people. But the biggest one is when you tell people you don't brush your teeth, then that's when they're real like, what?
Wait, what?
I know. And I'm like, but look at them. Teeth.
Yeah. You have beautiful teeth. I've never seen your teeth, but I know they're beautiful, Sarah.
One day.
Yeah. One day I hope we do get to meet. And so, and you, what you shared on how you take care of your teeth. Well, now I do that. And so, and then, last time that whenever we talked about, the shampoos, I've been like, okay, I'm been slowly dwindling. And then, I do tutor some students, so I have to get dressed every day and be somewhat more presentable, I feel like. But this summer, I'm not going to be tutoring. So then I feel like, okay, that's my goal this summer. Let's just cut the shampoo. If I have to throw it up in a ponytail when it's super greasy because it's detoxing, then so be it,
Keep brushing your hair. That's the other key too. You want to brush your hair, especially in the evening, or like before bed, because that will naturally, like, use a paddle brush, that will naturally move the oils throughout your whole entire hair too. So it doesn't just concentrate like by your ears and in the top of your scalp, stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I will start doing that. Well, and I don't know if any of you've heard of it, but like I've heard when I was growing up, like brush your hair 100 times. And then in some movies, you'll see women brushing and they'll be counting their brushes.
Marsha Brady.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you look back throughout the ages too, most of the women that had very, very long hair, which that was another thing that really sparked my interest, was how to grow your hair very long. A lot of people can't grow their hair long, but they're using a lot of chemicals and shampoos. But if you watch any of the people that have truly long, thick hair, they'll tell you they don't wash their hair often, but one of the main things they do is they brush it often.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think I've asked about 6 or 7 questions today. So I do not want to take up, if somebody else has a question, I want to give them the opportunity, but thank you so much for
wonderful questions. So absolutely. We don't care if someone has a million questions or people just want to listen. So we're open for whatever.
Yes. Well, it was a good week of questions.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll hop into the chat because I love doing that. So, but thanks again, Toni. Thank you, Sara. I love being here. I love what you guys share, and I keep learning. And thanks for everyone in the chat. You guys are just absolutely the best.
Well, thank you.
I'll talk to you later, but I'll be in the chat.
Sounds good. Toni, did you want to kind of close with going over the website?
Yeah, it's you opened it up on the 21st, but I mentioned the New Year's, the new beginnings. Right now it is people can connect. I think the map is working. So you can pinpoint, or it is pinpointed where people are actually at. I have to see if I have to make any improvements so that it worked on the first site that I built and I could test it out. I've added a variety of groups. Anyone who think, oh my gosh, they should have this or this group there, please do let me know, because this needs to be a site for all of us to enjoy and to learn and to share. I mean, it's not about sharing all the drama that is going on elsewhere on the internet. We want to be different. I mean, there are tons of groups on it. It goes from Facebook to MeWe to YouTube to Rumble to Telegram, especially Telegram. And it's all drama with everything that is going on. We should not focus on that. It's good to be aware of things that are going on. But, like, I think that I don't know how many times it was put in front of me by just going, well, not even going into a lot of groups, but everybody was talking about what happens in politics, and someone was going to be arrested, and it was going to be Tuesday, and then it was going to be Wednesday. No, it could be Thursday. And it's like, I'm just staying away from it. It's like focus on all the things that we can do, that we can share, that we can uplift each other, never put anyone down. And it is all about helping each other, having a better life. And like Sara always says, we can only be the best version of ourselves, and working on that. And that is what we need to do. And it's so with the groups, it goes from music, and I hope Grant will at some point, step in and help me out with that. What kind of genres, what kind of music should we be sharing? I started out with gospel music because I always kind of liked it. And I was not, I was like, well, I'm not religious, but I do like the gospel music. I was kind of drawn to it. And I found a few beautiful ones, especially from Elvis Presley. And I think Mahalia Jackson, and there are many. There are so many beautiful songs. And to add that and just have different like subgroups with all kinds of genres of music, feel good. And that's not just music, it's sounds too. I mean, the sounds are so important. I believe we already talked about that. But then it is about, and sorry, I didn't even open the site to have it in front of me, so I know what I'm talking about. But it is the self-sustaining communities. There are a lot of communities actually working on bettering things, getting out of that matrix. And so that is the thing that we share today about, what we can use to wash our clothes. I mean, these things need to be shared. And maybe there needs to be a separate group for that. And in a group, we can set up forums. So all kind of topics that help each other can be discussed. And, any help with that is absolutely enormous appreciated. You can reach me through the gardenofeden.social, but you can always send an email to healthywithfruit@gmail.com. And it is sign up, register. You do have to register because I don't want to make it like of course it is a free for all, but not an easy free for all. And getting a whole bunch of junk in frauds there. We don't want that. Eventually, there will be layers of well, you could call it subscriptions, where you can learn more. But the groups and the forums, that will always be free. And when you post something in a group or on a forum, I have to set up more forums that link to the groups. And I hope I'm still making sense now. When you post something in a group, and that can be a link, a video, an image, or your thoughts for the day, if they fit in that particular group, then it shows up on the news feed. And on this side, it's called activities. So whatever you post will show up there. You can also post directly in the activity feed, and it can, a few weeks ago, I became aware of a little book called Jesus Calling, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. It was, well, actually, I saw it the first time on my birthday when somebody sent what was in there. It's by year, a daily what is it, text. And that was sent to me, and I bought the book, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But, it is like posting things like that so we can become aware of that. And like, what are your favorite books? There are so many great books that we don't even know. So what is your favorite? And let's talk about that, share that. So it's all about, helping each other, learning, teaching, anything good, beautiful, making and health. Of course, it's always about health too, because if you don't have good health, it's not easy to be, happy and you feel light and laugh and so of course we help with health in what we talked about today with the chemicals in all the shampoos and other washing stuff that we use. It is not good for our health. So we want to get away from that, and please do share it. So it is, and I love the name. It's of course, but it's not something that I came up with. I cannot take that. I forgot the word for it. Doesn't matter. But it is gardenofeden.social. So this is where we can come together, and you can message people in private, and eventually we will have Zoom calls on the platform. We can have a live chat on the platform, just like Telegram. But this is the beginning of where we start to connect. So all that other stuff, including courses. I know Noah, we did a show with her on a podcast with her on salt. She has some beautiful ideas, and that will all be integrated, like health courses. So it's going to be beautiful. But of course, it's not me who makes the site. It is all of us, because without, you guys, I wouldn't be able to do it. It would be just, some basic information, but to make it really alive, it's your postings and your thoughts, and so that's it, what I had to say about that. If you want to add anything to it, Sarah, please do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a beautiful site already, and I have not yet posted anything to it, but I think it's like a little stepping stones for us on how we can claim back our health. And that covers so many different things about, our environment that we live in, the food we eat, the thoughts we take. So I think it's a beautiful concept and a site that's going to benefit a lot of people. And we
Oh
look forward
yeah.
to seeing everyone there.
Yeah, there was something else because I have been asked so many times, how do I meet other fruitarians?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, there needs to be kind of a dating section in it. But it doesn't have to be dating, it's just meeting other people who are like-minded. Now, do I expect that only fruitarians or raw vegans or vegans that get to the site? No, of course not.
No.
But I think we do need to know, what is your call it lifestyle? Because I don't like the word diet. I always had I have issues with the word diet. But I think it is a lifestyle. If you are a
Mhm.
fruitarian or a vegan, and even as a carnivore. So I was thinking to add to the profile options so that you're dealing with, because I'm not going to tell you like, you're fruitarian. Well, would I connect with people who are carnivores? To a point, I wouldn't, I wouldn't want to, I don't know. I probably would. And I probably would hope they would change their minds.
Mhm.
But how can we make it that we are so I was thinking to add like, okay, I identify as, 'cause I love that, identify as.
Yeah.
Have you heard that little story about a guy who walks into a bank and he says, I identify as a billionaire, I'm here to pick up.
Here to get all my money out, thanks. That is funny.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I would say lifestyle preference or food, and then maybe just a drop down, like, you're frugivore, vegan, vegetarian, or,
Yeah, that is what
you
I
know,
intend to do. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
even people that are on the carnivore diet, keto diet, anything like that, we're hoping that, they still, um, maybe they're, I don't want to say it this way, but like seeing a different path or seeing the light and,
Well, that is what it is. Yeah, seeing
that kind of
seeing
stuff
other
too.
options.
Yeah,
But
there we
I
go. Dave said, call it your dietary lifestyle.
Yeah, that would be a good one, because
Yeah.
but what I don't hope to get there, because that is going to be endless, is that you get carnivores who keep telling fruitarians how bad the diet is and that you die from it and that you need to kill animals. I don't even want those
Yeah,
discussions there.
no, this is a place of
So
kindness.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's something that's the same as joining a group. You have to agree to, you're welcome to come and peruse around and things like that, but we will not condone any kind of murder of any kind. It does say thou shalt not kill, and it doesn't say specifically people. It just says thou shalt not kill, period.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
So
that would be good. It's so if anybody comes up with ideas, please do send them to me.
mhm.
And we have a small group on WhatsApp, as we call it, and what did we call it? And
I think that's your Garden of Eden social.
yeah, I know, but as a brainstorming group.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be part of that and help us moving forward with more ideas about what kind of courses, because this site can be so much for so many people.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want it to be what is it? A one-woman show.
Right.
It's definitely not it. I mean, I have the ideas, I do set it up, but I definitely want to work with many other peoples to help, for everybody. So yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yep. Not kill, including your spirit. That's absolutely right. We definitely want to kill anyone's spirit because everyone has a purpose, whether it be small or big. We're all here to help each other.
Absolutely. And with that, we are closing the podcast for today. Oh, I need to say something else. We do not call this a show. This is not a show. We are for real.
Yeah, it's definitely not for show. See,
So
we have that
don't-
programming in us too still.
yeah, we just have the word, we just call it a podcast. We do not
Okay.
call it a show.
There we go. Awesome.
So guys, thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you, Sarah and Katie. I love you guys. And until the next time.
Thank you all. Love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.